Hey everyone, the purpose of this video is to explain how the NBA makes money. First, I'm going to walk through the different sources of revenue that the NBA has. Then, I'm going to outline the different expenses that the NBA has to pay each year. And finally, I'm going to talk through who actually receives the remaining profits after all expenses are paid. The information presented in this video is sourced from a variety of ESPN and Forbes articles that I'll leave links to in the description below. Let's jump into it. The NBA makes money in four main ways: TV rights, ticket sales, sponsorships, and selling merchandise and other items. First, looking at TV rights, the NBA sells TV rights on three different levels. For high-profile regular season and playoff games, the NBA sells the national TV rights, and they are currently in a 9-year, $24 billion contract with Disney and Turner Broadcasting, which nets the NBA roughly $2.7 billion each year. Second, they sell the local TV rights, and these deals can vary widely from market to market, anywhere from $10 million to $150 million per year for each team. And this netted the NBA roughly $1.5 billion for the 2019-2020 season. And third, they sell the foreign TV rights, mainly to China, and are currently in a 5-year, $1.5 billion contract with Tencent, which brings in roughly $300 million each year. And this brought the total TV rights sales for the 2019-2020 season to $4.5 billion, which represents roughly 56% of total sales. Second, ticket sales. On average, an NBA ticket sells for $100. However, this can range widely from market to market. And then the seating capacity for each stadium on average is 18,000. And for the 2019-2020 season, ticket sales accounted for roughly $1.5 billion in sales, which represents 19% of total sales. Third, sponsorships. A few notable deals include the Nike apparel deal, which is an 8-year, $1 billion contract, netting the NBA $125 million each year. Second, the jersey logo deals. Each team receives $10 million on average per year for their jersey logo sponsors, which netted the NBA roughly $300 million during the 2019-2020 season. And finally, there are a variety of other sponsors who pay to have their logos in frequently viewed areas of the court, whether it's on the backboard or up in the stands. And this netted the NBA roughly $525 million for the 2019-2020 season, bringing the total sponsorship revenue to roughly $1 billion, which represented 13% of total sales. And the final source of revenue is selling merchandise and other, and this includes everything from selling apparel, so player jerseys, shirts, and hoodies, as well as selling the NBA 2K video games, which they are currently in a 7-year, $1.1 billion contract with Take-Two. And then they also have other sales, such as food and beverage sales, and then other items sold in the gift shops. And for the 2019-2020 season, this netted the NBA roughly $1 billion, which represented roughly 13% of total sales. And to sum everything up, through the four sources of revenue for the NBA: TV rights, ticket sales, sponsorships, and selling merchandise and other items, the NBA generated roughly $8 billion in sales for the 2019-2020 season. Now let's look at how the NBA spends the money it earns. There are two main categories of expenses that the NBA has. First, player salaries, and second, operating expenses. First, looking at player salaries, there are over 500 players in the NBA with yearly salaries ranging from 1 to 43 million. And during the 2019-2020 season, the salary cap was 110 million, and most teams either met or exceeded this cap, resulting in player salaries for the total 2019-2020 season of 3.5 billion, which represents 44% of the total sales the NBA brought in during this season. Second, looking at operating expenses, these expenses include everything from the cost to operate the arena, such as hiring staff, trainers, concession workers, and security. It also includes marketing costs to maintain and grow viewership. Also, organization costs, such as paying the commissioner, Adam Silver, as well as the referees. And then there are other expenses, such as the cost of apparel that they sell, as well as the cost of food and other items for sale. And during the 2019-2020 season, this came to roughly $2.6 billion, representing roughly 33% of total sales for the year. And in total, the NBA had expenses of $6.1 billion for the 2019-2020 season. Now, putting it all together, the NBA makes money in 4 different ways: TV rights, ticket sales, sponsorships, and selling merchandise and other items. And for the 2019-2020 season, the NBA earned $8 billion in total sales. And the NBA has 2 main categories of expenses: paying the players and other operating expenses. And for the 2019-2020 season, this came to $6.1 billion in expenses, leaving the NBA with an operating profit, or EBITDA, which stands for earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization, of $1.9 billion. Now let's take a look at how that EBITDA is split between the 30 different teams. On the left-hand side of the screen, you will see a chart that breaks down each team's profitability for the 2019-2020 season, starting off with the Golden State Warriors, which were the most profitable team, going all the way down to the Phoenix Suns, which were the least profitable team. Now, the reason that there's such a wide gap in profit from team to team is that only a portion of the revenue earned by the NBA is equally shared between the teams, while a majority of each team's revenue is based on their local deals. So looking at this further, the revenue that is shared equally between the teams includes national TV rights, foreign TV rights, the Nike apparel deal, the NBA 2K deal, and a few other deals. And this generates each team a little bit over $110 million each year, while a majority of the team's revenue is based on their local market. And this includes local TV rights, which can range anywhere from 10 to 150 million, ticket sales, which can range from 20 to 150 million, and then also a majority of their sponsor deals and a majority of their merchandise sales. Now, the way that the NBA tries to bridge the gap between the most profitable teams and the least profitable teams is by a mechanism called revenue sharing, in which each of the 30 teams contribute a percentage of their total revenue to a pool, and then that pool of funds is divided equally between the 30 teams to help bridge the gap between teams in great markets such as New York and Los Angeles and teams in not as great markets such as Memphis or Phoenix. Now, to sum everything up, the NBA makes money in 4 different ways. These include TV rights, ticket sales, sponsorships, and merchandise sales. They spend money on 2 main categories: paying the players and operating expenses. And then the remainder of the earnings is divided between the 30 teams as shown on this page here. Now, hopefully after watching this video, you have a better understanding how each team in the NBA makes money. And if you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe below, and I look forward to talking to you guys again soon.